with coverage you can count on. This is News 2 Midday.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Smith. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Friday to you.
Almost lunchtime on your Friday, which means you're almost halfway done with work if you're at work. Otherwise, congratulations, because you're off all day on a Friday, and that's spectacular.
That's right. President Trump vowing to fight an appeals court ruling that keeps his temporary travel ban on hold, a victory for two states and for the untold numbers of residents from 7 Muslim-majority countries hoping to travel to and from the United States.
That unanimous ruling by 3 appeals court judges in San Francisco sets the stage for showdown in the United States Supreme Court. Andy Rose reports.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against President Donald Trump, who wanted to resume his travel ban while broader legal fights played out. Instead, citizens of 7 majority Muslim countries affected by the executive order will continue to be able to travel to the U.S. Trump tweeted, "See you in court," and again appealed to fear over terrorism, claiming the security of our nation is at stake. Trump's Democratic rival in the general election, Hillary Clinton, weighed in too, tweeting simply 3-0. An apparent reference to the unanimous decision by the 3-judge panel. Trump's senior advisor, Kellyanne Conway, shot back with the abbreviations for Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, a reminder that Trump won those traditionally Democratic states on Election Day. At the White House, Conway echoed her boss's bravado.
I think his tweet was perfect when he said, "We'll see you in court."
Washington State's Solicitor General, who argued the case, responded to Trump's tweet in a phone interview on CNN's Aaron Burnett Out Front.
We've seen him in court twice now, and we've won both times. And I guess I feel like it's not like it doesn't count until you get to the U.S. Supreme Court.
And Washington State's Attorney General has some advice for Trump.
I think the president should tear up the current executive order and start over.
For now, the Justice Department is reviewing the decision. I'm Andy Rose reporting.
President Trump's pick for Secretary of Health and Human Services, Tom Price, has been confirmed by the Senate. Democrats opposed him because he is a key architect in the undoing of the Affordable Care Act and has advocated making major changes to Medicare. Republicans view Price as a champion for free market principles who will guide the repeal and replacement of Obamacare. All right, well, it's cold out there. Let's just call it what it is. Compared to where we've been, it still feels weird saying how cold and nasty it feels outside when you look at what's going on in the Northeast.
Well, it's all relative. You've got to remember that. we've been acclimated here over the past several months to temperatures well above normal for the most part. And when you get a day like this, which would really not be that bad of a day in February, it really kind of hits you. And we're sitting in the upper 40s right now. 49 in Charleston, it's 51 on Folly Beach, it's 47 in Moncks Corner, it's 46 right now in Georgetown, 48 in Goose Creek, and 48 in Somerville. For the rest of the day, we're going to climb to around 51 at noon, about 55 at 2. Today's high will be 56. It will be mainly sunny, just passing high in mid-level clouds, wind out of the southeast at about 5 to 10. And that's going to help keep our temperatures up a bit this evening. It's still going to be chilly in the mid to upper 40s, but it won't be as cold, I don't think, as last night with an overnight low of around 42. We'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes from now with a look at your 7-day forecast. We've got to talk about the weekend.
Yeah, that was a little brisk this morning. I'm not going to kid you. It was a little brisk. And tomorrow you're going to be able to roll up your sleeves to help clean up the Ashley River.
Yeah, it is full of trash, and one local group is gathering to change all of that. News 2's Colby Thielen is live in my hometown, Somerville, with more. Colby, give us the details.
Well, Laura, the Somerville Salt Anglers have been doing this cleanup for the last 4 years. The numbers of volunteers and boats that are out here has increased. Unfortunately, the trash has not decreased. So they're going to be out here again this year. And, you know, when we talked to them, they said last year nearly 12 tons of trash were collected. And right now I'm being joined by Ray Filia, who is with the Somerville Salt Anglers. When you hear that number, 12 tons of trash, that's stunning. You guys are hoping to do even more this year, correct?
Absolutely. The more effort that we can get out here to clean up the river, the better it's going to be.
You were saying earlier, as a fisherman who's out here, this must be really hard to see just tons and tons of trash on your river.
Yeah, it is disheartening. I mean, you want to come out here and obviously enjoy yourself and see a pristine environment, but you know, obviously we got some work to do, so we're glad to be out here doing it.
There's a lot of people that want to get involved, I'm sure, that want to help clean up the river. How can they get involved? What do you guys want? We need people with boats, and we need people. I mean, if you don't have a boat, come on out. You know, 9:30 tomorrow morning, be here. We'll pair you up somebody with a boat and get you out there and help us clean up. Raphael, yeah, thank you so much. So if you want to come out and help with the boat at 9:30 tomorrow morning, come out and help clean up the Ashtabula River. Ray, thank you so much. We're going to send it right back to you, Brad and Laura.
Well, a hearing is scheduled for today for the 2 men accused of stealing an ATM in St. Stephen and then leading deputies on a chase through Mount Pleasant. Now, this video shows when 50-year-old Joseph Cobb and 48-year-old Ernest Davis first appeared in court back in December. Both are accused of stealing an ATM from the Citgo gas station on Highway 52 in St. Stephen. Both Cobb and Davis have extensive criminal histories and cannot own a firearm. The search is on for the suspect behind an armed robbery in Ravenel. According to Charleston County deputies, an armed man went into the Family Dollar on Savannah Highway just before 11 Thursday night, grabbed some cash, and then took off. We're told no injuries were reported.
Boeing just landed a nearly $14 billion order from Singapore Airlines. The airline committing to purchase 39 planes. Of that, 19 of them are 787-10 Dreamliners. 20 of them will be 777-9s. The 787-10 is made exclusively at the Boeing facility in North Charleston. The purchase will be valued at a total of $13.8 billion. Singapore Airlines has been a longtime customer of Boeing. They've been doing business together for more than 50 years. Well, check this out. A temporary City of Charleston fire station? That's what they're calling that. It's right there on Cainhoy Road. It's a mobile temporary facility, they say. It's located at 1161 Cainhoy Road in Wando. They say it's a way to improve fire service in that area. The city's been working on a fire station, a real one, on the upper Cainhoy Peninsula since 2012. However, the city hasn't been able to find land, according to the fire department. There is no word on how long this temporary station will be up and running in Cainhoy.
20 members of the North Charleston Citizen Advisory Commission on Community and Police Relations have been confirmed. Now, the committee was created after public scrutiny of the North Charleston Police Department amid the April 2015 shooting death of Walter Scott at the hands of former officer Michael Slaker. Every city council member chose 2 members from their district, and Mayor Keith Summey chose 1. The Charleston Metro Chamber of Commerce still must select 1 member. The principals of North Charleston, Stahl, and Fort Dorchester High Schools also must pick 1 rising senior to serve on the commission.
Well, today we're finishing up our series on blue-collar jobs here in the Lowcountry with a story you're only going to see here on News 2. When it comes to skilled labor, no skill may be more valued than welding. Nearly everything we use requires some sort of welding, including the TV you're watching us on right now. Welders say they need more people to be trained in a field historically dominated by men. So we were curious about the need for women and found that resounding answer is yes, we need them. News 2's Colby Thielen caught up with 2 ladies studying to become welders at Trident Tech who say they have big plans.
Behind the torch and hood, it's where Davina Cantrell feels at home. It was an interest sparked while working part-time on a construction site.
It turns out I really liked it, and I really enjoyed working in that environment with a lot of hard work, a lot of walking around, a lot of labor.
She changed her major immediately and signed up for a future in heavy metal.
I want to end up traveling, mostly working on construction sites, steel erection, and then eventually I want to move on to pipelining.
After finishing this program at Trident Tech, she'll have skills in a number of specialties, even robotics welding.
That's one of the driving points behind a lot of students coming into the program. They have the understanding, hey, can I make a lot of money? And the answer is absolutely we can. It's
a skill that fewer people are learning, meaning demand is growing.
Everything that you do, every aspect, everything that you look at, it's most likely going to involve welding in it.
And the call to join is reaching a growing number of women, despite the industry traditionally being dominated by men. What does it mean for you to have a skill that very few people have?
I'm never going to run out of a job.
Gabrielle Venturini began welding to help out around the family farm. She discovered she had a knack for it.
It definitely comes with its challenges, its ups and downs, but ultimately it's where I want to be.
She admits that being a female in the industry can draw criticism from some, but her dreams are too big to
to get bogged down by comparison.
Don't worry about how the guys are doing, just always worry about being the best in the class. I've already been across the state with it and out of the country, so there's like endless possibilities.
Great stuff. From commercial diving, plumbing, linemen, and welding, we have covered with several blue-collar jobs that are available right now in the Lowcountry. And you can recap and watch the other stories in the series. Just head to our website, countdown2.com.
Arby's says a data breach may have affected hundreds of thousands of credit and debit cards. It's the same kind of malware behind earlier breaches at Target and Home Depot. Now, it happened between October 25th and January 19th. Arby's says they fixed the problem. It only affects company-owned restaurants, not franchises. Officials say people should check their bank statements. A recall here in South Carolina is a little bit bigger here this morning. Ruth's Salads, which is based in Charlotte, is recalling all pimento cheese spreads packed in Chester, South Carolina, because they may have been contaminated with listeria. All of the recalled products have the label packed by B&H Foods, Inc., Chester, South Carolina. If you have one, return to the store you bought it from for a full refund.
The bill moving forward in the Senate, just cleared the Senate actually, that would increase penalties for injuring or killing a police dog or horse in South Carolina. It's called Heiko's Law, named after an Anderson County canine officer killed in the line of duty in 2015. Right now, the maximum penalty is 5 years in prison, but this bill would raise that penalty to at least 10 years.
Police dogs actually have a badge. They are not a piece of equipment. They're a partner, and they're very valuable. So we felt it was necessary to increase the penalties.
One of the four sponsors of the bill is Senator Greg Embry of North Myrtle Beach. The bill now goes to the House. There's another bill at the State House that would recognize concealed weapons permits from all states. Representative Alan Clemens from Myrtle Beach filed the bill. It's now in the House Judiciary Committee. Last year, Governor Nikki Haley signed a bill that recognizes permits from North Carolina and Georgia. Now some lawmakers want to extend that to all 50 states.
Well, here's a cute story, everyone. A 7-year-old from Murrells Inlet got a special wheelchair yesterday that allows her to visit the beach. How cool is that? Elizabeth Jarnigan and 16-year-old Alicia Frame of Beaufort both have spina bifida now and rely on wheelchairs to get around. The problem is those wheelchairs won't work on the beach, so MUSC and a nonprofit from Alabama donated the beach wheelchairs to the girls.
It means a lot for me to be able to give back because I know what some of these kids and what some of the families are going through, and I'm really happy to be able to do that for the kids and the families.
Now, the girls didn't even know they were going to be getting these chairs. They were very surprised and excited. How cool is that?
Coming up on News 2 Midday.
It's a dangerous trend among teens who vape. We'll hear the latest concerns from doctors and parents.
Hey, plus one of the most entertaining award shows is this weekend. We are talking about what? The Grammys. Coming up, see who is going head to head in different categories. Stay with us.
Let's show you what's going on out of the town tonight. If you're heading outside, we're going to be in the 40s, so you want to grab a coat as you head out and about. It's going to be clear. A big time warm up on the way right around the corner. We'll talk about it coming up on the other side of the break. You're watching News 2 Midday.
All right, Josh Marler's joining us now. And listen, first thing this morning, I don't know if I just got out of the car and walked quickly. You didn't notice it right away.
Yeah.
But then after everybody's talking about it, and then you prepare for it, you walk outside, you're like, dang.
Or you just look at the map. That was pretty evident this morning compared to where we've been. 30 degrees colder this morning than most areas than we were yesterday when we woke up. And right now, we're still well below.
Like Rocky Balboa said, it's brisk, baby.
It is. It is. Let's show you what's going on. Those high clouds are out there with us, and most of us still in the 40s. We do have a few low 50s popping up on the map, and that puts us right on target for our highs between about 52 and 57 this afternoon. It's going to be a chilly day. There's no doubt about it. In fact, some of you up on the north coast may not make it out of the 40s and low 50s with an east wind to a southeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. In the metro, we'll be in the low to mid 50s. That includes Berkeley, Dorchester, and Charleston counties. On the northern tier, a little bit cooler. Southern tier, just a little bit warmer down toward Colleton County. And as we plan the afternoon, you'll see some of those scattered clouds continuing to move in overhead. 51 at noontime, about 55 at 2. We'll be near 54 at 4 and about 49 at 6 p.m. with sunshine all the way through the day. Now tonight, it's going to be clear, but not as cold. A south wind at 5 to 10. Most of us will see overnight lows between 40 and 45. And don't be surprised if these lows occur right around or just after midnight, and we actually see those temperatures bump up a bit overnight. And we got a lot going on in the sky tonight, too. First things first, a full snow moon. That's what they call the February moon. It's old farmers say that. It's kind of the one where most of the snow occurs in the deep south, and that's why it's called that full snow moon. Partial eclipse at 7:43. This is a partial one. You don't get that red color in the moon. Just kind of get a darkening of it just a little bit, kind of like somebody flipped a dimmer switch on it. And then Comet 45P, a little small dot's going to streak across the sky for about 2 hours between 3 and 5 in the morning, and that will be in the eastern sky. The weekend looks good, sunny and 75 with a quick rebound, upper 70s to around 80 on Sunday with lots of sun. We'll be cooler again Monday, 63, mid 60s for Valentine's Day. And then our next rain chance will come in as we head toward Wednesday, Thursday. It will be chilly on Thursday and 57. That's a quick check of what's going on in the weather department. I'll see you again in just about 20 minutes.
Laura's got viewing plans this weekend.
I have a lot of
watch
plans.
Comet 45P.
I'm going to get up early.
Woo!
Okay, so let's talk about this. James Corden is set to host the 2017 Grammy Awards show on Sunday. Beyonce and Adele will face off in the 4 major categories. Who knew?
Imagine that.
Including Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Album of the Year, and Best Pop Solo Performance.
I guess the whole thing has to be done carpool karaoke style. CNN Stephanie Elam previews the music, the magic, the possible mayhem that would be the 59th Annual Grammy Awards.
From Adele to Beyonce, the Grammy Awards honor the biggest names in music, and 2017 is no exception.
It is the Vatican, sort of the music business and of music entertainment. There really isn't any bigger award to win.
Beyonce leads the charge with 9 nominations, including Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and the night's most competitive prize, Album of the Year. The singer's latest collection, Lemonade, faces off against Adele's 25, Justin Bieber's Purpose, Drake's Views, and Sturgill Simpson's A Sailor's Guide to Earth.
This year, even though it seems like it's going to be a big face-off between Adele and Beyonce, kind of all bets are off.
The Grammys are also known for creating household names. Best New Artist contenders Kelsey Ballerini, The Chainsmokers, Chance the Rapper, Maren Morris, and Anderson .Paak may become the evening's major success stories.
There's any number of artists who can have a big night and, enjoy a big bump in sales, in attention, in streams due to their performance.
Awards aren't the only thing on deck at the Grammys. Expect some big collaborations. Lady Gaga with Metallica and The Weeknd with Daft Punk are just a few of the duets set to hit the stage.
Pop, pop, it's showtime!
Late night host James Corden will handle MC duties. The carpool karaoke star will likely provide some musical entertainment too.
With James Corden, you're getting more of what Billy Crystal was to the Oscars, or at least potentially that, because he can sing and dance and he's a comedian.
Expect enough music and mayhem to uphold the Grammys' reputation as music's biggest night. Stephanie Elam, CNN, Hollywood.
Coming up on News 2 Midday.
From pension funds to North Charleston Police Department woes, Charlie James will be here talking about the latest events and happenings across the state and in the Low Country. Talking Points coming up next. Well, this next story may remind you of the film Footloose, but it's not a movie plot. This is very, very real.
Very real. A Valentine's dance in Oklahoma has been canceled because, get this, the town has banned dancing within 500 feet of the church. David Norris reports.
With around 6,500 people inside less than a dozen square miles of city, Henrietta makes for a quiet life if you want it. But it's roughly 300 feet from this store to that church over there that has this whole town wrapped up in controversy. And this woman, Robbie Kinney, started it all.
I did.
At the heart of the controversy, a Valentine's dance scheduled to take place at this business. Kinney says she had family who wanted to go, but there was just one problem.
The ordinance says no dancing allowed. It's illegal.
No dancing within 500 feet of a church, or so the city ordinance says. Since the church is 300 feet away, she asked city officials.
Has this law and this ordinance been overturned? And if so, when?
She says she posted the question to Facebook, and that's when the attacks began.
They want to attack your character. They want to attack your past.
It's never been enforced my entire life.
Born and raised in Henrietta, Mayor Jennifer Clayson had always heard about the old city ordinance.
But I never had looked at it because it had never come up.
So she pulled out the books, and sure enough, there it was.
It's an antiquated ordinance. Nobody's ever looked at it to change it.
The owner canceled the dance, mostly because her husband is the city attorney.
He said, that his oath was to uphold the law.
But Police Chief Steve Norman says he's never enforced the law, and that's not likely to change.
Yeah, we have no intention of enforcing that ordinance.
Kinney says she never wanted the dance to be canceled, but she does wonder where that line is drawn.
Laws are laws.
Seriously? Class has said the city council will consider abolishing the ordinance during their meeting on February 22nd. Thank goodness. All right, we're recapping some of the biggest stories in the Low Country this week. Charlie James from News Radio 1250 WTMA is here. And we talked about it last week.
Yep.
Groundhog Day.
Right.
The Sergeant Jasper.
Right.
But do we have the day after Groundhog Day finally?
We're so close. We are so close. The Board of Architectural Review finally approved the plans for Sergeant Jasper. Almost. There are a few things they have to iron out before the second reading. One of the board members said that it was too perfect. The facade was too perfect. He says you got to muddle it up a little bit, make it a little bit messy. Oh.
Okay. Well, hey.
I don't understand these people. It looks good, too good. So that's where we are right now. Hopefully we can get this thing done on the second reading and go ahead and get on with that. But Sergeant Jasper has just been one of those things.
So we can put that in our
almost
checked
almost done category.
Okay.
Also, I tell you what, one of the things, a huge story that maybe is not getting enough coverage has been the mess that the South Carolina Pension Fund is.
And Curtis Loftus has been standing on his head about this for years.
He has. 1999, this pension fund was 99% funded. Now they're at a $24 billion shortfall.
With a B.
He should be screaming. And now the folks up there in Columbia, they're booting Curtis Loftus, and the treasurer's office, they're getting rid of them on the oversight committee.
He says the guys who ran it into the ground, for lack of better phrasing, are the ones who are staying, and he goes.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
This thing, it's got to blow up. It's got to blow up. It's got to be front page headline. It's got to be the top story, because we're talking about a $24 billion shortfall, and that's taxpayer dollars.
And the only options that they've come up with so far to fix it, raise everybody's
raise the money they're going to be putting in. It's unbelievable. North Charleston, what was the guy's name? Leroy Hare arrested. Third-degree assault. Former officer.
For something that happened a while ago, right?
It happened a while back, but they just arrested him. Now, the National Action Network came out and said that they were happy with the way that the North Charleston Police Department handled this, and they should be. But no matter what, North Charleston, they've got their issues there on the police department, and it comes from both sides. They've got to get more communication between the community and the police department, or they're just going to have more and more troubles. But right now, it looks like they are making some great steps towards trying to solve some of the issues that they have.
It's nice that there's seems to be some agreement there between the National Action Network and the North Charleston Police Department.
It's like any good relationship with Brad. It's like us. We communicate. We talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we never have issues.
We never have issues.
That's right.
We don't. Oh, except
that you're taking us over.
You besmirched the groundhog. Oh. You besmirched him. 6 more weeks of winter. Look up at the Northeast. Look at today. Do not doubt the groundhog, people.
That's because my meteorologist told me so. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Live with coverage you can count on. This is News 2 Midday.
It's 11:30. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm Laura Smith.
And I'm Brad Franco. Let's go right over to Storm Team 2 meteorologist Josh Marthers. People getting ready maybe to head out for lunch. It's going to be an indoor kind of day.
Bundle up.
I think so. It's going to be a chilly one. Let's show you what's going on right now with most of us in the mid-40s to around 50. We haven't been used to seeing numbers like this for overnight lows in some areas over the past couple of days, and we're not even to our highs yet, which I think are going to be in the mid-50s for the most part. It's a chilly, chilly day out there. The only saving grace is that wind is lighter out of the southeast at about 5 to 10. Can you imagine what it would feel like today if we had yesterday's wind? Look for a high of 56, 51 at noon, 55 at 2, and 54 at 4 o'clock. We'll be in the low 40s for overnight lows tonight. A bit on the chilly side, but not as bad as this morning. Temperatures slowly falling through the 40s this evening. We'll be back in about 15 minutes with a look ahead at your weekend and see what's happening around the low country.
3 people are dead, several others, I should say, injured in an explosion at a fire in Louisiana. Happened at a pipeline Thursday night. Officials say Phillips 66 pipeline was located near a natural gas processing plant. 2 people were taken to the hospital. 1 person still missing. One of the seriously injured people burned and taken to a burn unit in Baton Rouge. 60 homes in the area also had to be evacuated.
The problem is it's high pressure and it's for several miles, so this could burn for hours. It could burn for days. They are trying to locate valves on the pipeline which are closer to the fire in the area here to where we can shorten that process.
An investigation into the explosion is ongoing, but it could take several months for federal agencies to release their findings.
President Donald Trump has reaffirmed America's longstanding one China policy in a phone call with China's president. The move potentially alleviates concerns about a major shift in Washington's relations with Beijing. The White House says last night's call was, quote, extremely cordial, and the 2 leaders invited each other to visit. Take a look at this. A tractor trailer crashes and overturns on the Van Wyck Expressway in New York this morning after colliding with a snowplow. The tractor trailer spilling fuel as traffic headed to the JFK airport. The crash left the tractor trailer destroyed in the southbound lanes of that busy expressway. No word yet on how the accident happened, but we do know the snowplow crashed through a barrier just feet behind the truck. It's unknown if there were any injuries. It is a trend among teens. It's called dripping, an alternative to vaping. 1 in 4 teens who use e-cigarettes say they've dripped, letting the nicotine-based liquid drop onto the e-cigarettes, heating coils, and then inhaling the vapors.
Reporter Ryan O'Donnell spoke to the health department and breaks down what is in those little vials and explains the dangers.
Dave Belknap has 2 kids in high school, and like most parents out there, he worries about the bad things they could get into.
In high school, there's 18-year-olds who have it and can have it available for other kids. My kids have told me they've seen that.
He's talking about vaping. It's a big concern of his.
You hear vaping commercials, and they brag about the flavors that they have. Some of them are Trix, Lucky Charms, breakfast cereals, which I think are for children, and it makes me believe that those are being promoted towards children.
Dave's concerns are real. On a national level, the CDC found e-cigarette use among middle and high school students has tripled from 2013 to 2014. High school usage went from 660,000 students in 2013 to 2 million the following year. Middle school usage went from 120,000 in 2013 to 450,000 the next year.
Obviously, having 2 teenagers, I think it's important that they understand that vaping still has a drug in it, an addictive drug.
Initially, e-cigarettes were advertised to adults as a way to stop smoking, and some people have been successful in doing that. But in most cases, it's simply replacing the cigarette.
At this point in time, we still don't know exactly what's in those products.
Carrie Thompson heads up the Tobacco Use Prevention Department at the Knox County Health Department. Now, despite the start of a new regulation process in August of last year, she says there's still a lot of unknowns about the e-liquid outside of the high concentration of nicotine and the use of diacetyl.
Diacetyl was a flavoring that was used in popcorn making facilities, and it is a damaging lung disease. It was a flavoring that in one study in 2015 it was found to be in 75% of the e-liquids.
Thompson also warning youth nicotine addiction can easily lead to other problems.
Once they get that addiction to, say, e-cigarettes, they're more susceptible to other addictions even, because it can change the developing brain at that age.
This is just another reason why Dave Belknap told his kids early to stay away from it.
As soon as possible, as soon as kids are in school, because if they're in high school, my thought is vaping's probably available in middle school too, as soon as possible.
Around the world, Iranians have begun a nationwide celebration to commemorate the 38th anniversary of the 1979 revolution. Demonstrators in the capital, Tehran, chanted traditional slogans against the U.S. and Israel. The rallies come at a time as President Donald Trump has already engaged in a war of words with Iran's leadership. Meanwhile, rescuers and volunteers raced to save stranded whales today in New Zealand's Golden Bay. Listen to this. It was one of the country's largest recorded mass whale strandings. Up to 300 whales have died, and volunteers are trying to send more than 50 back to sea. A conservation worker noticed the whales washed ashore Thursday night.
An Indiana man is facing charges after throwing chairs at a judge and destroying other court property. Authorities say 20-year-old Jordan Rhodes appeared an hour and a half late for court on a probation violation hearing. He was held in contempt, and after he used some obscene language, the video shows Rhodes walking to the back of the courtroom where he picked up the chairs and started hurling them toward the judge and the deputy prosecutor. Bad move. He faces a battery charge and also an attempted charge of battery on a public official.
A 9-year-old Texas boy is hailed a hero after a near-death experience on the playground. 10-year-old Nick Bach says he was pretending to fish near the top of the slide at his school when a jump rope he was holding got caught and somehow ended up around his neck. Nick says he was left dangling and the rope wrapped around his neck and started to lose consciousness. Fortunately, his buddy helped.
His friend, Raul, managed to get to the top of the slide and set him free. Those precious seconds could have turned into an eternity for our family, and we're so grateful that Raul jumped into action.
Now, the friend says he would have done it for anyone. Nick is expected to make a full recovery.
Coming up on News 2 Midday.
You can spread the love this Valentine's Day at one local animal shelter. After the break, we'll sit down with pet helpers for more on a special event they have coming up. Stay with us.